I've always loved the idea of. I like the way older cars look.
Oh, me too. Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of modern conveniences that are nice too. So
exactly. That's the
but I
thing.
hate the way modern cars look. Like for the most part, like your average, your average Joe car just looks terrible compared to what you would consider an average car from maybe the 60s or 70s or 80s even.
I mean, it was kind of crazy. I don't remember what movie I was watching, but I was watching a movie or TV show that was not like a period piece set in the 70s, but it was made in the 70s. And I'm like, every car that is parked on this street is cool as hell. Like,
yeah,
it just they just did it.
I think I had a similar thing. Movie realization. I was watching some '90s Bond films, and I was like, my dad mentioned how he doesn't like the older, like the '90s BMWs. I'm like, well, that's like, to me, that's like iconic because it's like, it looks like a car. Like I think MJ and I always talk about how a car should have like a defined
the boxiness, right?
The box, like a defined hood and a defined like trunk area. Like modern cars get too like egg shaped. You know, like they kind of are too rounded. They don't have a defined hood and back. I mean, it could just be like, I think of the Prius, right? Like I think of like a Prius as like the kind of like go to like standard whatever.
It's
car,
like very
it's
very like sloping. It's very like smooth.
Yeah, and you don't have again the boxy kind of thing. So it's
it's like designed by like algorithm for maximum cargo space.
Exactly.
Headroom, and aerodynamics. It's like. Boy, that's why they all look the same. There's not an artist drawing.
They've like they figured out it's like this is the most efficient shape a car can be. And so this is what shape
prefab all the parts.
And so this is what shape everything will be.
This kind of goes to some mentor stuff that I was talking about in the chat. I would think before Kyoshi, but I mean maybe Chris remembers this too. But like, it's the idea that people want speed and aerodynamics from a car, but they don't really think about design that much. Like a class design. So like when, again, if we talk about suits, this is an example I brought up, especially with vintage, people will be like, okay, well, this is a vintage jacket. It's made of Paris tweed. It's got the leather covered buttons. It's great. And they think that will automatically make it cool. But then you think about, okay, well, this also has a very low buttoning stance. It's also got fucking like padded shoulders or whatever. But to them it's like, well, this is what a jacket should be. It's got lapels, it's got wide lapels, it's got tweed, it's handmade.
Or it's like a name that they know, like something like that.
Yeah. And I
it's
think
got the Union label inside.
Yeah. So it's like, it's the same thing with cars, right? Like people think about that, but like we don't think about, okay, what should a car for a car's sake look like, not about what's aerodynamic when that's all about cargo space or how to get the best speed, but like a car, That's also why I don't like pugs, but that's
because you think that dogs should have a defined hood.
Now
you should be bred with the boxiness of the snout.
I mean,
So do you also not like
a snout,
like
a Shiba Inu, Golden Retriever, whatever. It's got that dog shape to it.
Do you also not like
pug?
Classic.
Do you also not like the very kind of like swooping aerodynamic like 40s 50s cars or like Art Deco style stuff? Are you not a fan of that either?
I mean, I think that they do it. They do aerodynamics,
because I mean then it was aerodynamics but with design in mind.
I think that's the basic difference. Again there, because when you get to like late early 2000s, you get the kind of swooping designs. I think of like the Hyundai Elantra, or even like early or like mid to late 2000 Civics, where they kind of went all in on that swooping design, and then recent ones started to get back to like the kind of car shape. Man,
I mean, this is weird because this is like, I don't know like anything about like how, like a car works. I have a lot of opinions on how they. Yeah, I have a lot of opinions on how they should look, and that's the same thing for like watches too, kind of. Like, I don't really understand a whole lot about the mechanics of watches, but I know what watches I like.
I mean, I think that's why there's still like sports cars or even like regular people cars that are like more sporty looking because people still like, or they know people still like the angled, parts of the cars.
Yeah.
I just posted some pictures here that I think illustrate of the Civic, where the first one is very egg
shit
shape, and then
I didn't know that
one
would kill
looks
you.
more like
Okay.
a regular car.
Yeah. Or just look at the
why-
like the Toyota Supra or the 86. It's like very
Yeah, this
angled.
is why when I had my big car accident last year, when I was picking a new car, I was like, at first I wasn't going to get the Civic until I saw what the modern Civics were, and so I made a better choice with the newer Civic. But yeah, that's car talk for you.
I drive a Kia Soul. I got it because my first car was a minivan, and I liked having a lot of trunk space and space. And also, it's easy to spot in parking lots, which was a huge deal for me when picking a car. I wanted to be able to find it very easily.
You say that, but your trunk is always full of stuff.
Exactly. Exactly.
What do you keep in your trunks?
Yeah, I have a go bag. I have a go bag, a couple of blankets. I just like to have. I like to have things like that. It makes me feel prepared.
Do you keep a change of clothes?
I do. Yeah, I keep a change of clothes, like toiletries, stuff like that.
Hamster car, God bless.
But
is meet and
that's how I
greet
roll.
Mac?
Is it? I don't know. I keep people in my trunk. I'd actually, the Kia Soul would probably not fit a person. I haven't tried, but
You can't put the seats down? No, you can't.
well, you could. I've done it. It's just a pain in the ass.
So you just
Yeah.
Yeah. Car talk.
Yeah, car talk. Guys, this is funny because this is what my dad listens to on the radio. Like car talk.
Yeah,
It's always
NPR.
either car talk or like tech talk on like AM radio. Tech talk.